G'day folks, Alex McKellar here again with another race replay run through. This one from Road America. It's round 5, season 2, 2022. Wanted to share this one with you because this track represents a really unique opportunity for me in my racing style to get out of my comfort zone because, big, close pack racing requires a different kind of strategy. Can't always afford to just sit back and wait for opportunities to open up. Sometimes you got to make them, and defending by attacking. It's a weird concept, but it plays out here. Anyway, this was on a Tuesday night, racing with a few mates, which was great. Two of which, well, we were on the front three spots of the grid. Actually, I think this was 2,700 strength of field. Lucky enough to put it on pole with the 33.8. Did a couple of other races this week already. 33.7 was about as good as I can manage, so it wasn't too far off that. But I think, there'll be mid to low 33s this week by the good guys. I had Donald Sabinoff, Team Milo, beside me. Donald's a good bloke, as is his team boss for Team Milo, Russell Clark the third, who's sitting on the second row just ahead of another ANZ driver. In fact, the top five were all ANZ. Corey Lean there and Ryan Portelli. I think they're mates, if not teammates. Corey, of course, is regularly in Sunday Night Lights and very, very quick and quite an aggressive driver. And I haven't raced close with Ryan before, but we got that opportunity, as you'll see. They were probably the main protagonists in this one. We didn't see much of Paul or the great Ken Himes down there in 10th, or Mitchell Nichols, who's regular SNL drivers, all of them actually. Daniel, I think, played a part at a P6, but anyway, let's find out. Let's see what happened. We'll grab the cockpit view as we start for the first of 10 laps around Road America. Let's get underway. Off to a reasonable start. I've been getting decent starts here for the most part, which has been, getting decent starts most places actually, which has been good for me lately. Now turn 1 these days, 4th gear, not under too much threat, but early on in a race, if you're in the midfield, that can be race defining because people will have a look on the inside there. Look, it is a legit passing opportunity, but it's pretty sketchy. It's 4th gear and it's tough, but you got to make it work around here. Immediately Donald pulls alongside, and I let him know because we were in Discord. I said, mate, I always take the inside at turn 5 here on lap 1. Always take the inside. It's a defending as much as anything for me. And I always feel like the traffic in that heavy braking zone at turn 5, primary passing opportunity on the track, it always tends to flow outwards. So I always tend to go on the inside for safety as much as anything, minimising my risk. As you see, not a lot's happened in the front 6, although you can see behind us, judging by the fact that P7 and 8 are up 5 positions, there's some stuff that's gone on there, and that's, I guess, why we didn't see much of Paul Wilson and Mitchell Nichols. They're both in the pits. I didn't see what happened to them, actually. I only just seen that they're out for the first time now. Going through the carousel on lap 1's can be pretty sketchy, and the kink here even more so. I actually lifted there, had a bit of a chicken lift, but I typically only do that on lap 1. If I can avoid it the rest of the laps, I will. Again, Donald pulling to the inside, side by side. I lifted there just to let him through. Discretion being the better part of valor. Now, as you can see, we're already down to a pack of 6. When I say down to a pack of 6, the pack racing here can be pretty massive, but 6 is, shall we say, not unusual around here. And there are some races that you can just sit patiently on the back here, but I did have it in my head at the start of the race that Corey is pretty aggressive. Interestingly though, you can see he's still there in 4th. typically with Corey, I would tend to see him try to make forward progress at the start of the race. As we go 3 wide, Russell making his presence felt on the inside. I lift it there. It's very slow. I take that in 4th gear typically. I drop down to 3rd, picked up the incident point just to make sure we all got through. And you see Corey behind us has made his first move. My experience with Corey is he tends to move forward early in races. Gets his elbows out and races quite hard early on. Now again, I've shifted to the inside there as much as I could, but then Corey's made it 3 wide, so I don't like running on the outside of turn 5, particularly in the starter races, but I felt I didn't have much of a choice. But you can see, move back to the inside once the opportunity opened. I just feel more comfortable there. Like I said, I feel like the traffic washes to the outside when mistakes are made, and it minimises my risk. But as I was saying, and I guess Corey was true to my perception, he's made the moves early. It took till lap 2, but I thought even to this point he'd raced pretty smart, which is good. And I guess my strategy here in the main is to be in the front 2, maybe 3 positions if I can, and I will look to try and move forward if I'm further back than that early in the race. So, whilst I say Corey moves forward, here I like to move forward if I can in the first couple of laps as well. I just feel that there's less risk on the front of this pack than there will be when you're sort of 3 to 6 deep, which we are still here. You can see P6, Zubicaldo, I think that's how you pronounce it, he's still with us. And the whole pack is separated by less than 1.5 seconds. Now you can see I moved a little bit to the right there just to discourage, and up in the mirrors you see Portelli have a big lunge. Moves himself up to P3. That was quite a significant move. When I say significant, it looked in the mirrors at least like a pretty big lunge, but he got it done and he pulled it up. And Russell was also in Discord with me, and he said, well, hey, he made the corner fair and square, so, fair chops to him. And I thought here maybe we might have a chance of getting away, but it was only about 6/10, and the draft here is enormous. So part of my strategy in races like this is to try and thin the herd a bit, and if I could get it down to Corey and I could just sort of relax a bit, because I know Corey's got pace, and if we could break the draft, I think the two of us could hold the gap and maybe even pull away a bit if we race smart. And as he says that, he pushes wide and grabs another 1x. And typically, it's funny, I was expecting Corey even there to have a look through, it's actually turn 3, the straight in between turn 1 and that corner is actually counted as a corner. It's turn 2, so anyway. I felt that we had enough of a gap there. You can see Russell's about 3/10 behind me, to let Corey go through and hold the racing line, which is what we did there. Because ultimately you still want to be as fast as you can through there, even though I'm really trying to stay in these front 2, and Corey obviously working really hard there. He's using all the track and then some. I was surprised. I looked at the results afterwards, and you see stuff like that from Corey where it looks dead set to be an incident point. I think he did a number of drives like that or excursions like that, or so I thought, but after the race I think he had 2 or 3 incidents at the most. I thought he'd have 6 or 8 at least, but I don't know whether it's netcode or I just didn't give him enough credit. He was using all the track and doing it well. So we come through the kink, we're flat out in 5th gear, big counter steer as the tyres are still not quite ready for that, in draft at least. There's still a bit of understeer in these cars in draft typically, but through there it's pretty sketchy. Now line of stern again, you can see looming large in the mirrors, Portelli again. This time Russell managed to hold on again. You can see that is dead set at 1x there for sure. That's 2 I've counted in that lap. Like I said, I think that was the total for the race for Corey. So 3rd gear through the final corner, try and get on the gas as soon as you can. I use these laps where I'm in second here if I am as dress rehearsal. Can you get by the guy by the line? By the time you cross the line, if you can measure your run, you want to be P1 when you cross the line, because that's how you want to finish the race if you can. It's just a dress rehearsal. You see Russell making it 3 wide. We're still 3 wide here. I wasn't sure what Corey was going to do, so I stayed in the middle there, dropped down to third again. You can see all this battling's not the fastest way around, but we've got an 8-second gap by this point, the front 6 over P8. You can see I'm shifted again to the centre of the track. I didn't, in between those 2 corners, I didn't want Corey having to think about going through on the inside at turn 3, and at the same time I was able to move back onto the racing line and maximise the exit speed. Russell leaves the inside open, which is obviously, as I said, my preferred line in the battle pack. I was worried that Corey might look on the inside there, so I tried to discourage that by holding the left hand side of the track, and even though Russell was side by side there, or I think he dropped back, I still held that centre line. I didn't want to encourage Corey to have a look at the inside, and then side by side behind. I was hopeful there potentially, you know, and they're still side by side, that I might be able to even get away. And I think at this point Russell said on the Discord, "Oh, congrats on the win," but I said no, it's only 8/10, and the draft here is immense, so I didn't think there was much risk of that. And you can see it actually skipped to 9/10, but then even through here where I'm flat, you can see I don't lift at all. I lost sort of half a tenth, and then on exit you can see the relative there at the top left just tumbling as the draft kicks in down this back straight. Now the draft in the skips is not what it used to be, but you can see even at 9/10 on the exit of the Hurry Downs into the carousel, you know, it's at 4/10, 4.5 by the time we hit Canada Corner. Yeah, it's really tough to get a breakaway here, and you can see that as evident by the fact that we've still got 6 cars in this front pack separated by less than 2 seconds now, even though we were sort of a bit more stretched out that time round. So we're coming to the end of lap 4. I'm leading, I think, for the first time, and you'll notice here I'll move over to the right, because again, like turn 5, at turn 1 in a big pack like this, I prefer the inside line. I don't care necessarily if I come out first, second or third on the exit of turn 1. I just want to minimise the risk. I moved back over to the left a little bit because I saw Russell was he was not committing to moving forward, and I was a bit nervous as well. I saw Ryan come through on the inside as well. I wasn't sure whether he was going to attack me as well as, or just take the position from Russell, which he did. So Ryan back up into P3, and here, now if this was 2, maybe 3 of us, depending on how they were racing, I'd sit here quite happily, potentially, but I'd seen Ryan really trying to push forward. So Corey leaves it open the inside for me, and I stick and make the move. This is what I was referring to at the start when I say this is attacking to defend. I'm actually defending from P3 by attacking P1. You see the racing's really starting to heat up now. I leave enough room on exit so Corey can be on the outside. He's got a better run, so I lift so as not to go 2x2 through here unnecessarily, because there was a gap behind to Ryan who didn't get the same sort of exit from turn 5. So a little lift to let Corey through, to again minimising risk in what is pretty intense and risky situation when you're in a pack of 6 like this. But again, you can see my strategy playing out here. I want to be in the front 2, 3 to stretch. And so those little things like running between the last and the first corner, overtaking opportunity there on the right hand side of the track to sort of discourage movement forward. Similarly, if I can get on the inside at turn 5, here between the 2 corners, I shift over to the right, as much to as much to discourage the run behind, but also time the run out of the corner so that I can shift as soon as I can over to the right hand side, which is the inside run into Canada Corner again. Corey facilitates the pass into the braking zone, 3rd gear through Canada Corner. Not the best apex, but I'm a little bit wary of watching the mirror. Not wary, but I'm perhaps a little bit distracted by watching the mirrors there. So again, we're going to lead through the final corner here at 14. Decent bit of apex. Almost all the track on exit, so not too bad. Again, I'll move over to the right. I'm looking to just discourage certainly the use of the inside of the track here. I want that for myself. And we've got 4/10 on Ryan, so we should be okay. But again, I'm sort of lifted a little bit there, trying to get in behind Corey, but I didn't move the whole way across because again, I wasn't sure if Ryan was going to attack me. So that time I wasn't attacking Corey so much as I was defending from Ryan. Interestingly, that right hand line that I take, or the line down the right hand side of the circuit on the run into turn 1, it shouldn't, if Corey wants to use the draft there, it's not going to slow him down either. So I move out to, and I didn't actually notice there, but it looks like I killed the run of Ryan, and Corey starts to squeeze me here a little bit, keeps me tight. I was tight on the entry here. He opened out the corner, nothing wrong with that, but I felt a bit bad there. I had eyes forward and I was timing my move out of the draft and I didn't notice. I think I cut right off there. Sorry Ryan if you see this, that was not my intent. As I said, I like the inside line and I was probably just a bit too focused forward there. And Corey comes back at me here for the first time through the hurry downs, which was interesting, and I'm wondering if by lap 6 we started on the second part of the race, and you can see Ryan had a look at me on exit because I had a compromised exit after that move, and I was wondering whether Corey was doing exactly what I was doing, which was attacking to defend from P3, or in fact he just wanted to lead through this part of the circuit. I wasn't sure. So again, I timed the run on exit to be right up behind him. You can see I'm only a tenth behind, and I think he almost sort of tried to cover me there, but he didn't get there in time, so he bailed out of that, which was very good of him. Could have pressed the point but didn't. And again, I'm defending from Ryan as much as I am attacking Corey there in that scenario. If I thought the pack was a bit more settled and wasn't going to be attacked into Canada corner there, I would have sat. But I felt, again, out of my comfort zone, but I needed to attack to defend. Again, decent apex, decent enough track out and straight over to the right. Straight over to the right. Like I was saying last lap, this I don't feel slows down Corey. He can use the draft as much as he wants and actually take the natural racing line, but it allows me to defend. See how Ryan in P3 follows him? But I've got him covered. He's boxed in essentially, can't go anywhere, and I've got the inside less risky line. Have to go down into third admittedly, and I run the risk of being attacked from behind into turn 3 here, but no. That's certainly my risk mitigation approach through turn 1. You see we're a bit behind here, 3/10, and Ryan's 2/10 behind me, but again I'm trying to get draft and then eyes forward, timing the run here, move out to the left. Right, again Ryan, I'm sorry, I think we might have actually had a 0x from that again. I've timed that poorly, so I became more aware of it, and I think Donald and Russell, who were in my ear at that point, sort of let out a bit of a gasp or a whoa, look out buddy. That was more in reference to me moving too late. So again Ryan, I'm sorry, it wasn't my intent, mate. My intent was to attack Corey, not to defend on that occasion. Again, well, I suppose it was my attack to defend, and Corey shows the nose here again. I think he was taking that line more in defence of Ryan than attacking me. By this stage, of course, we're flat in 4th gear through the carousel. Nice run through here to practice your steering input rather than your pedal input. This sector is actually that through the kink as well. You're flat through here again. You're practicing your steering input, you turn in. So it's interesting. And again, I actually shifted. You see, I cut my track out short so it'd be on the right-hand side there. Compromised my exit speed a bit. But again, I was trying to box Ryan in on the outside of the corner. brake nice and deep. Down to second gear instead of third, but I get a punchy exit. I was surprised that Corey didn't quite get the exit there, particularly given I went down to second, which is a couple of tenths slower through there, let alone the angle that I was on entry to the corner. But perhaps he was leaving space for me in case I brake too deeply. Again, sensible driving from Corey there under the circumstances. Oh, that's better track usage, but you also get a bit of a yip on exit. Pretty fine line. Anything more than that on exit, and you're going to cop the grass. This time I thought I left a lane for Ryan on the outside, on the left there. I was more aware of it that time, but he chose to go on the inside. So we're 3 wide at this point after Corey used my strategy, and I backed out of that one. And then Ryan was quite slow on exit, and I was worried that we were going to lose Corey in front there. So after making sure that I was offline and defending from Russell behind me, he wasn't attacking, so I was able to pull in behind Ryan, and I'm back in my danger zone. Well, I'm in my danger zone, I think, for the first time this race, actually, in P3. This is as low as I want to go. But I was also worried that Corey does have the pace to break away if he breaks draft. And you can see I did this little switch back there. I think Ryan was trying to cover me, and then he thought I was going to hold the outside. He moved back to the right, which left the door open, and I was able to get the move done through turn 5. Made sure I got a good apex there. And again, this was a bit of risk and reward here. I felt I had the pace on Ryan, even if it was just my racing ego, and I was worried that Corey was going to drive away. So I wanted to be on front, catching him down or chasing him down. And besides that, I don't like P3. I like P1 and 2 here. So we're 7.5 tenths. And see, Corey missed that corner. I think the carousel pretty bad there. He wasn't far enough over to the right-hand side, carrying the inside. You see, that's a decent apex through there. I thought from memory it was worse than that, but it was fine. But you can see that draft kick in, and I'm 3 tenths. 3.5 tenths, 4 tenths by the time we get here to Canada Corner from the exit of the Hurry Downs. That's, so it goes both ways. Same thing happened to me in reverse with Corey earlier in the races we saw. So 2 to go, and I've fought hard to be in a decent position. We're 4 tenths behind on exit of the final corner. Not the best run through there. Probably could have carried more speed. Also got a 3/10 gap behind Ryan, but we've got good solid draft here. Now again, if this wasn't such a big pack, I wouldn't attack here, but you see Corey's picked up on my trick. And now I'm going to race past with the draft, but this time I was going to be a bit more aggressive. Got Portelli on my inside. Corey actually backed out there, which was smart. I wasn't expecting him to. Not that he wasn't going to be smart, but just that I wasn't expecting him to back out. But even at this stage of the race where it's really starting to heat up, he was able to have good race sense and good race IQ and know that he still had time to come back at us. He's actually come out of turn 3 in P2. Now you can see I made the early move to the left to try and defend. Corey squeezing me quite hard there. I think he was expecting 3 wide. Now I made sure I gave Corey plenty of room, but also wanted him to have the run. I didn't mind going 2 by 2, but with Ryan behind, or Russell now making his move, because I figured I'd have the inside run then through 6 and be able to hop in behind Corey back into P2, which is fine from my perspective. And it also left Ryan and Russell to have a bit of a battle behind, and maybe, then Russell's gone very deep there, has he? He's done all right. Cost him a bit of time. I'm not sure if that was a mistake from Russell or not, but it certainly took a bit of pressure off that little battle between Russell and Ryan. Took a little bit of the pressure off. I moved out of the draft there, not to defend because Ryan was further back, but to get the good run. See how it closed in right at the right time to move over to the right and get the inside of Canada. To be fair, Corey could have probably defended that if he wanted to. There was time enough, but he chose to stay on the outside. That's his strategy. You see, when I take the inside there, I go down into second to try and keep the line and get the exit speed as much as I can through there on a compromised line. That's my approach to that corner, and also to turn 5 from the inside in a battle side by side. Same at turn 1 too, actually. I'll drop down the extra gear to cater to the speed and hopefully get the better drive out on exit. Straight away over to the right. This time I was prepared to be 3 wide and battle a bit harder because we're now starting the final lap. White flag's out, as Corey says. My partner in crime on a Sunday night, Corey Steinhauser, says time to win it or wear it. So I had to defend from Ryan here, but I wasn't giving up the spot easy. And poor old Russell, I'm not sure what happened there. I think he either it checked up too much, but he took avoiding action and it cost him his position there in P4, and he's off into the kitty litter, which was a shame. I was disappointed for Russell out of that. Now, all important run into turn 5. Now Corey's indicating like he's going to go to the left, which is sensible in my books. I've decided, well, I don't want to be. I'm uncomfortable being on the outside, but I'm going to have to. But I made sure as best as I could it wasn't going to be 3 wide, then opened out, braked very deep, and Corey just, you can see I locked up in the middle of the quarter there when I should have been on the gas. Corey, I might have a look at that one at replay. I said to him on the chat at the time, nice block pass. And now I'm in third, and I'm thinking, oh no. It used to be in the draft that you could win from third, but not so much these days. So I was thinking, oh, I've got to be in second position. I've got to get past Ryan before the final corner, and then really hope I kill the run on exit there, because Corey's got pace. Oh, so I was, third's all right in the mid stage of the race. It's a bit risky still, but at this stage of the race with, a couple of sections to go, I was, starting to think of desperation stakes, if I'm honest. So I'll get the run here. You can see, though, Ryan's sort of watched and learned. He's moved straight over to the inside. He compromised his exit, which gave me better exit speed, and it means I'm pretty much clear. I was really surprised Corey didn't move over. He was defending from Ryan and left the door open on the outside for me, but look, you see there, I had to open up the wheel. Ryan went super deep, and we'll have a look at that one as well. I was stunned that we didn't get any net code throughout this one, but you see I'm 3.5 tenths behind. I really need to be 2 tenths behind if I've got a shot. So I brake a bit deeper than usual, and I thought I needed to be 3, but then Corey, he kissed the grass on exit, pushing so hard, so I had a better run, but is it good enough? He moves over to defend. I keep the draft. I'm pushing. Come on, Skippy, pedal harder. And yes, we got it. On the line. Get that India. The gap was 6/1000ths of a second. Amazing stuff. Really enjoy that race. Like it pushed me to be, like I said, out of my comfort zone. Now I want to go back and look at turn 5 at the pass that Corey made, which ultimately I think was fair enough based on my recollection of it. But let's go and have a look. We might go far chase or chase. Chase will do. And we'll get rid of those overlays for the time being. So Corey played it smart up the straight. He hugged over to the left. He wanted the inside, which is fine. And then you can see I've held more of the centre line. I always think my Skippy is wider than it is. You can see there's plenty of room either side of me, but I was trying to discourage Ryan, who was behind us, from making it 3 wide. So he's thought about it. You can see there he wiggled. He thought about it. Then Corey's moved over a bit more to follow him, and you can see he's trying to suss out the gap there. Good on him. Full pump to him. Now, My view on this corner here, and I've said it in a couple of track guides that we've done, is that you can use a lot more of the track than people think. You can see as I've hit the braking zone, which is just a little bit beyond the 2 board typically, you can see my car's pointed to the outside of the track rather than towards the corner. And you can see at that white line as a reference, I brake in a straight line, but you can see I'm using more than all the track. You can actually have your inside tyres on the white line, and you can see they're a little bit outside it as I start to rotate for the corner in a second. Now Corey's come through and braked. I think he's braked about the same time as I have, which, given how much further to the right I am, is pretty interesting. It means his braking's really late, because he's at least a car width on the inside. You see he out brakes, and then he misses the apex by quite a while, and then you'd almost call that a dirt oval slide job. And you see I've had to check up there. You can see my front wheels lock up briefly as I must have braked in the corner. Yeah, I've had to brake there where I'd normally be on the gas, and you can see I've left a good car width on the inside because Ryan's filled that space, right? And Ryan's done a really good job there. He's seen the battle going on. He's seen it all. This is what I talk about, the traffic in a situation like that. There's no mistakes there, I don't think. I mean, Corey's pushed really hard. There's no mistakes, but you can see the traffic washes to the outside, and Ryan's just come straight through and filled that space. Really good move there by Ryan. Let's see what it looks like for him. As he comes through, you can see he's narrow on entry. He can afford to be, and this probably, no, I think it was in third by the end, so it didn't matter. Could have cost him a better run. He could be over to the right hand side where I am, right, and then cut underneath even more, right, because there wasn't the space for me. I was trying to go over under, right, but there's two things that stop that. It's the check up mid corner from Corey there that stops me, and also you can see, look at my front wheel there, lock up. In the mid corner there, I had to check up badly, but then it's also Ryan's there, so good move from Ryan there, right? Well played, and then I had to concede here, no chance of getting there, so I back out, and away we go. Now the next one here was on the exit, so I'm right on his tail, get a good run through there. I mean, there's no gap there, and he can see how he compromised more than me the exit and covers off the inside, but I got a better run and I had a good draft. And this was the moment I thought Corey might move over. Corey in P1 there might move over and cover, but he didn't. He was more concerned with taking the inside run, and that allows me to box Ryan in, the blue car P9, car number 9 there. Now, in the braking zone here, and look how deep Ryan goes. Now, he's shown this a couple of times that early in the race he could brake really, really deep there, but he's on a severely compromised line. If you look, because we boxed him in, severely compromised line, and you can see he turns so late, and then he's missed the apex by a long way, and he's pushed out quite wide. Like, he's pushed out very wide there, and as you saw live, I had to open the wheel up, make sure he didn't hit me. Look at the angle there, right? Now he makes the corner. Well, maybe I'm just taking it too tight. Maybe I'm taking it too tight because I open up and I mean that's actually maybe I need to learn a bit from that. I thought he went super deep, which he did, but and he does miss the apex, but you see that adjustment I make on quarter exit after committing to the line, just there. And I did get forced a little bit wide, but ultimately it didn't matter. And then we get the run to the line. Let's see what this looks like. And that, folks, is what 6/1000ths of a second looks like on the line. Oh man, Pretty specky. I think you'll see a few finishes like this week. Pretty cool race in the end. Like I said, really pushed myself out of my comfort zone with some of that racing. Yeah, and a lot of fun at the same time. So anyway, let's take a quick look at the results. If it'll come on, is it going to come up? Yeah, there it is. So I managed to hang on for the win. Oh, it says it 10 100s there, but I don't know. 6 1000 sounds better. 3 tenths back to Ryan. Daniel took advantage. I didn't see what happened to Donald. I forget what happened to Donald. I was so focused on my own stuff. And then Russell, of course, had his moment. And they finished a bit off. So, but for me, the main action was up in the front three. And I was a bit nervous having seen, how racy Corey and now I've seen Ryan as well can be. But that was a tremendously clean race, ultimately. Nothing wrong with any of the moves that went on there, really. If anything, I was guilty more than anyone. And apologies again to Ryan. My intent was to cover the inside, but not at his expense. It was to attack Corey in those instances, attack to defend. But I think my moves were a bit late. But anyway, that was what the racing like can be here at Road America. Fun track when you get in a bunch of people that race hard but race smart. And I think everyone in that pack did that in this race, which was awesome. So really pleased to come away with it with a win. Very enjoyable. Anyway, folks, that'll about do us. Make sure you check us out on a Sunday night, Top Split TV on Twitch. As you can see the address down the bottom there, we do the Sunday Night Lights Strength of Field race. We've been averaging over a strength of field of over 5,000 each Sunday night. Outstanding support from the community and the racing. If you think this was any good, check it out on Sunday night, 9:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, GMT plus 10 at the moment. The racing is bloody brilliant, honestly. It's so exciting to watch and call as the commentator, but spectacular racing. Anyway, folks, that'll do us. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex McKellar, and until next time, ciao for now.